Hey, it's Karen. Welcome to my channel, Creating Sanity. Today we're going to talk about challenging assumptions. And this is something that's really important for us to help to maintain our calm and maintain a positive mindset. First, I'm going to talk about what we can do to help ourselves challenge the assumptions that we make every day. And then we'll talk a little bit, and it may even get woven in as I'm talking, about how we can help others that are making assumptions about us. Because we all make assumptions. We do it. What humans do, we engage in habitual thinking. It helps us to conserve energy and to think more quickly and efficiently. And it can be really helpful, but it can also really get us into trouble if we're not being mindful of the fact that we do make assumptions, and to realize that we actually do this, and we may always get ticked off at other people for making assumptions, but we do the same things because we're humans, and it is part of being human. And there's a number of ways that we can go about challenging these assumptions. First of all, get really clear on the things that you make assumptions about. It is really prevalent these days for people to think that the people of the other political party in the United States, that the other political party is, that they're bad, that they're sinful, that they're despicable, that they have no compassion, that they're only out for themselves. And those are assumptions. In cases, those assumptions may be correct, but there's also going to be cases where it is not correct. There are decent people all over the place, and we need to be mindful of that. Racism comes out of people making assumptions about people that are different than them. People of a different skin tone, of a different religion, of a different background. We make assumptions that they are bad people, that they're different than us, so there must be something wrong with them. Racism is grounded in assumptions. So to start taking a look at this and asking yourself, what do I just assume about things? What do I kind of take for granted that this is true? Because we all think that assumptions are true, but they very, very rarely are. So to be able to look at them and say, okay, I'm making an assumption about this. What can I do to correct it? And that is the next step of asking questions of yourself about these assumptions that you're making. Where did this assumption come from? Is this my own, or was it handed down to me by The people in my life. Uh, is it something that I had an experience once with a person and I made a generalization out of that incident? So ask yourself questions, and get clarification. Um, if you're dealing with another person, instead of just making an assumption, you can ask them questions and try to get clarification about what is going on in the situation. Um, and you can also, like, if you're not actively in a situation where you might be making assumptions, you can do some deep dives into, like, asking yourself, where do I make assumptions on a regular basis? Um, and then try and be objective. Take a step back and try and look at the big picture and not just always look at it from the same point of view that you look at it. Um, be be objective, and try to avoid having expectations. Because when you're having expectations that someone is going to do something or that someone is going to act in a certain way, when they don't, we can get angry. I'd be like, oh, you didn't do what you should have done because we thought that that's what they should do. Consider other perspectives. Look at things from another person's point of view. If you're in a situation with another person and you're making assumptions about them, or there's been a situation and somebody is looking at it from one perspective and you're looking at it from another perspective, see if you can look at it from the other person's point of view. Try and be open-minded and not be married to what you think should be happening in the situations. And go into it with the realization that people have different beliefs. And that's okay. That's what makes life so rich and wonderful, that we don't all think the same way. And that helps us to weave this incredible tapestry of the human existence. So be open to other points of view. Not necessarily saying that you have to change your mind, but be open and listen to what other people are saying. And also reconsider. You know what? We're all human, which means we all can be wrong. We make mistakes. It's part of the human existence. But be open to reconsider. Is what I'm thinking, is my assumption really valid? And should I reconsider my thinking? When I've listened to other perspectives and looked at other people's beliefs, can I be open to reconsider my thoughts? Communicate. Communicate where you're coming from. Ask questions so the other person communicates with you. Have interaction with a person so that there aren't misunderstandings. Something that I'm going through right now in my life, I'm looking at it and realizing that this situation that I'm dealing with this other person, which things have gotten kind of heated because they made assumptions, but I'm realizing that if I had communicated more with this person, there wouldn't be the situation that that is happening right now. Situations do not happen in a vacuum. There's, we all have some sort of contribution that we make to things. And we have to be open to be looking at those things and acknowledging where we could have done better and make the effort to do better, but also stand in our strength and not be bowled over or bullied. Shift to a shared understanding. So when you have expectations, I expect you to do this and this and this. When you have that communication with another person, it helps you to be able to shift, like, oh, okay, I can see that this expectation here is really not reasonable, but how about if we do this? Yeah, okay, that works. And so then there can be this shared understanding, and both people, or all parties, maybe we're more than just two people, all parties involved are feeling heard and can help to make the situation better. And also another thing is to provide evidence to help you to debunk assumptions. So the situation that I've been dealing with, somebody has made assumptions about me and things got heated. So what I ended up doing, I had to work through a lot of things, but then I realized, okay, I need to speak the truth. I have to speak my truth about what happened. And so I started to write down the facts of what happened. This information is going to help to debunk this other person's assumption of what I did, which was not at all correct. And then to help to highlight the benefits of not making assumptions. Look at how correcting your assumptions can benefit all parties involved. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that assumptions are habitual thoughts. And to remember that, and that as we progress through our lives, we change. We get additional information and we apply it to the things in our lives. But sometimes when we make assumptions that may be assumptions from when we were young, if we don't question them and look at them and reassess, do a lot of these steps that I just talked about of challenging our own assumptions, we can fall into habitually just making assumptions that really don't fit with who we are as people these days. Things are changing at a really rapid pace these days. There is change that's happening politically, environmentally, economically. There's changes happening in human rights and all of these types of things. There's huge amounts of old assumptions that are now being challenged. The assumptions that women can't be leaders, that women need to stay home and take care of kids. Time and time again, for decades and decades and centuries, it has been shown that this is not true. And this assumption is still held by a lot of people. And they are afraid to look at that assumption because it means that things are changing. But we have to be open to looking at these assumptions in our lives and changing them. And when we come up against someone or we see someone in our lives who is making assumptions about ourselves or about others, we can help them by telling them about their assumptions, showing the evidence, providing the facts of why their habitual thinking is wrong, engaging in communication and asking them to be open and objective, and for them to also to be open to asking questions of themselves of why they are making these assumptions. And really working at communicating and coming to a shared understanding. This will really help people in these really divisive times. Practicing these skills and utilizing them in our daily life, helping other people to start to utilize them, we will help to stop all of the devices. Well, I don't know if we can stop, but we can help to reduce all of the divisiveness that's in our excuse me, in our immediate lives. And if we keep doing that, it's going to ripple out. And that ripple effect is going to play out into the greater community. And if we, across the world, start to engage in this act of challenging assumptions, we can help to start to make our lives, our communities, and the world a better place. I hope that you found this video to be helpful and provided you with some food for thought. If you enjoyed this, please tap the like button, leave a comment, and let me know what you thought. I love engaging with the community and the people that are watching these videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. You get notified when I put out a new video. It's helping me to grow my channel, and I am working at providing information that can be helpful to people so that they can lead a happier, more resilient, positive life. If you know of somebody that could benefit from this video, please share. I'm really glad that you're here. I look forward to seeing you in the future. and know that together we are creating sanity. Thanks. Bye bye.